Hello, and welcome back to the Goodness Margin, the place where we find margin for the good things in life. Today, I am expounding on my paperless videos that are already out there, and I will link some of those below. You definitely go to my channel and check those out. I have quite a few of them. And so many of you have questions for me about how that I deal with paper, and you want to know about specific items. I put a question box out on Instagram, and I received so many great ideas that I'm actually going to be doing several videos on this topic. But today I'm going to share with you how I deal with 4 different items that come into my home. I will detail out for you exactly what I do with these. So example number 1, something that came into my home recently was a renewal notice for our tags. In the county that we live in, our automobiles have to be tagged. The tags have to be renewed once a year. I really wish they had another option, but they make you do it once every year. And you also have to have an emissions test done on your vehicle in order to renew your vehicle. So when I get that piece of paper, when it comes in the mail and I open it up and I see that that's what it is, it usually arrives at my home about a month before it is due. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my planner and I'm going to write down in my to-do list that I need to have the emissions done on my vehicle. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to email my husband, because that's the best way that I communicate with him. And I know that then he will write in his planner that he needs to do emissions on his vehicle. I'm going to put that piece of paper in my to-do folder. Now, this folder typically doesn't have very much in it because it's the things that I'm actively working on. And I know that I'm going to be checking that folder at least once a week. And so if for some reason I forgot to do this, I know that next week I will open it back up and see that it's there again, and it's going to remind me to do that. We've both done our emissions test, and my husband let me know he did his. I know that I did mine. So I'm pulling that piece of paper back out, and I'm going to go online. I'm going to pay that. Well, I don't need to save the other papers, the notice that let me know that I need to renew, because now I have that receipt that has been emailed to me that I already renewed my vehicles. So I'm going to shred those notices. However, just in case I do save the emissions form that shows that we did pass emissions. So I'm going to take those 2 papers and I'm going to put those in my to scan folder. So those are in my to scan folder. And then in my email inbox, I have that receipt from our county that shows that I paid for our tags. I have renewed those. So rather than print that piece of paper out, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to save that receipt as a PDF. And the way that I am going to save that in my scanner folder is A for auto, and then 2021 for the year, _12. So it's the 12th month of 2021. And then after that is going to be some form of description. So I have a Mazda. I will say Mazda tag renewal. And that way, if I'm ever looking for anything pertaining to my vehicle, all I have to do is put in the word Mazda, I can pull that up, and it's going to pull up everything that has to do with that vehicle. But anything with an A has to do with our automobiles. And then I have the year and the date, so I know exactly where to find that. Then when I'm in my to scan folder and I have those emissions receipts that show that I passed, I'm going to scan in that emissions receipt. I'm going to save that as A 2021 _12 Mazda emissions test. So now again, I have the word Mazda there. I have the date. And if I need to find that emissions receipt for any reason, I will be able to find that. So that's the way that I'm going to deal with that paperwork. And now it's all scanned in. It's totally digital at this point, and then I can throw it away if it doesn't have any important information. If it does, I'm going to shred it. And now I don't have any paper. I'm totally paperless with my tag renewal. Example 2, my husband went to the dentist and he brings home the paperwork that shows what he had done, how much he paid, all of that. So we do save our dental receipts. He is probably going to take that piece of paper and he's going to stick it in my inbox. So when I'm cleaning my inbox out as part of my weekend routine, I'm going to pull that receipt out. Notice on there that the balance is paid in full. There's nothing that I need to do. I will take that and I will put it in my to scan folder. The reason that I keep things in the to scan folder and I don't immediately scan everything is because I don't have a scanner just set up. I typically do work at this table here or at another table in our home. I don't really have an office. So about once every month or two, I'll pull out that scanner and then I'll just expedite the time and go ahead and scan all of these things at once. So I've taken that dentist receipt and I've put it in my to scan folder. So now I'm going to pull that out when it's time to scan it. And this is the way that I'm going to save the PDF of that office summary and that receipt. M is for medical. And then I'm going to use my husband's initials. Let's just pretend it's ABC. And then let's say it was done this month, 2021 _12. 2021 is the year, December is the month. And I'm just going to say Lane Dentist, or just say dentist because I already have his initials there. So we have M for medical, ABC, 2021 _12 dental or dentist visit, or whatever description that you want to put that's going to help you know when you're looking. If you need to go back and find that again, that you know exactly what you will search for, and that way that you can find that. Example number 3 is this little stack of paperwork that I receive at the beginning of every year for my daughter's school. She's in kindergarten this year. They have a calendar in there. They have all of the car line rules, the procedures when they're sick. All of the information is in this packet. I receive this, I go through, I kind of glance through it and see what I need to do. Well, this is something, first of all, that I'm only going to need for 1 year. I only need it while she's in kindergarten. So I don't need to scan this and save it on my hard drive, which is sort of a forever folder. But I also don't want to hang on to these papers for an entire year. So this is a great opportunity for Evernote. Evernote is a program that I use. It's a cloud-based program. So I am not going to put anything that is confidential that has any of our personal private information on it, but something that's from her school that got sent out to every single student. That's not personal or private. And it's something that I have access to from my laptop or my phone. If I ever need to check her calendar or check a procedure, I can find it there. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to scan that and save that PDF onto my desktop. And then I'll just pull it over into Evernote in the proper folder that I want it to be in and just save it as LCK5. And that way I know that I can easily find that there. So if you ever have any paper that you know you don't want to keep for a really long time, or if it's something that you want to have easy access to, Evernote is a great place to save those things. And then when kindergarten is over, I can just take that and delete that file. And the last example is something that so many of you asked me about. What about tax documents? So you have a couple of options here. You can have a folder that says taxes and save everything for that year in that one folder. I personally prefer to still go digitally with all of these things. And so when something comes in that is regarding taxes, even if it comes in 2022, but it's regarding taxes from 2021, I'm going to scan that in and I'm going to save it as T for taxes, and then 2021, and then just whatever that description is. And I take all of those items and put them in one folder. And that way, when it is time for me to file my taxes, or if I ever need to go back and access something, or in 2022, when I get the information from my accountant that all of my taxes have been filed and he sends me all of that information, I'm going to save that to that same folder, T 2021. That way I always will have that information there, and I can take that tax document and I can just shred it. It's interesting. I have a lot of people ask me about the tax documents. They say, oh, don't you need to actually save the hard copy of that? Well, if you stop and you think about it, the majority of us use someone remotely to do our taxes. And so we never actually share actual paper. And the IRS, we do things online now. You do not need to save the actual hard copy of that. You can save it in a digital format. Just make sure it's a good high quality format. I will actually link the scanner that I recommend in the notes below. And then you can shred that document and know that it is so much safer on an external hard drive rather than being just in a filing cabinet somewhere. If there is another document that you would like me to cover in the next video, I would love for you to put that in the comments below, and maybe I'll add it to the part 2 of this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when the next video goes live. If you aren't paperless, I encourage you just to try it. With the paper that comes in your house, try to go digital with this paper and see what a huge difference it makes for you to not have stacks of paper. You'll only have a small external hard drive, and it will make your life so much easier. I guarantee that you will have margin for the good things in your life.